What is up, loved ones? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Lolo. Y'all, let me tell you something. The way that y'all were so excited and happy for my last video about my accessibility products that are still aesthetic and universally designed, like really, I wasn't even expecting y'all to react like that, but I'm so glad it resonated with you. And one of the biggest questions that I got as a result of that video was ultimately, how do I do this? How do I live alone with a disability? And when I thought about how I could address this, I realized that it's gonna be much bigger than one video. We're gonna have to have parts to this, sis, because in order to do this, it takes a lot of systems, a lot of outside support, a lot of creativity, a lot of just different ways that you have to approach this. And in fairness, I could only share my particular experience based on my particular disability. However, I know that I have a lot to share that is still going to be relative enough to a lot of y'all. But before I do that, you know what I need you to do, right? That's right. I'm going to need you to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And if you are new here, hello, I'm Lolo. And I'm an actress, speaker, author, and disability advocate on a mission to give the resources and the support to young adults with disabilities who are seeking independence and self-empowerment. Now, when I had to think about the beginning stages of what it takes to live independently with a disability, and especially as someone who uses a mobility device, I recognized that I had to break this first part down to the very basics. And in my mind, those basics are transportation, food, and cleanliness. Now, those are the things that I find as the basics. First and foremost, let's talk about transportation, which we know as people with disabilities is a dire system, okay? It's not easy for people with disabilities to find reliable, safe, door-to-door transportation if you yourself are unable to drive, okay? Me, I am someone that cannot drive, that does not drive, don't want to learn how to drive. Driving and me are just never going to work out. And because I live in a city like LA, Uber and Lyft actually has options for wheelchair accessible vans. It is just another car that's in their roster of vehicles that you can order through an Uber or a Lyft that is a WAV, a W-A-V, a wheelchair accessible van. And that's the primary way that I get around. You can request a ride and it will be door-to-door service. And it'll be private, which means they will not be picking up some stranger on the way to your route or back, because that is typically how accessible transportation works, like at the kind of like city government level. And that's why a lot of people don't typically trust it. So with Uber and Lyft, it's on demand. You call right away, and within 30 to 45 minutes typically is when a van will show up. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but yes, sometimes it can take 30 to 45 minutes for a van to get to you. But if you are hyper aware of that, then what I typically do is order it. And then I will spend the next 30, 45 minutes still getting dressed. Whatever that means, whatever that looks like. Now, the pro to that is, at least out here in Los Angeles, is the vans are technically contracted through Uber and Lyft, which means these vans are actually part of a company where the drivers are supposed to be trained on how to strap the wheelchairs in, how to handle wheelchairs, devices, all these different kinds of things. Then there are just certain things about the process that you just kind of sort of have to accept, right? 99.95% of the vans are backloading vans. So that means the ramp is in the trunk, which I absolutely despise. I don't like it because it's bumpy, it's loud, it's rattly, like it's just super duper annoying, and it just doesn't give any dignity to me as a person, and I don't really like that. What I'm ultimately just trying to let you know is that although it's not the most perfect system, it is what I found the easiest, best, and most reliable way of getting around. And the biggest part, which I'm sure a lot of y'all are asking, well, how much do these rides cost? The cost of my ride is no more expensive than the cost of the cheapest Uber or Lyft car that's available. Meaning you get comparable prices to the rides that non-disabled people are also ordering as well. But also another thing that works for me as far as transportation is the fact that I actually have a portable electric wheelchair too. So the times that I am riding with friends or family, I have a chair that is small enough and lightweight enough for them to be able to pick up and put in the trunk of the car, and then that way I can get a ride. If Uber and Lyft transportation is not doable for you because of where you live, but let's say you have a really great support system of family and friends, then maybe you might want to look into investing into like a portable wheelchair that you can fold up and put in a car. Let's get into the next part. Okay, now we gotta address groceries. Figuring out how to grocery shop for yourself, or at least be able to go to a store to bring groceries to you, is a process and a system if you're willing to try it, okay? So here's how I address it. I like to shop at two main grocery stores, and that is Costco and Trader Joe's. Those are my two stores. I don't know what it is about those stores that get me every time, but I just feel like you kind of get the most bang for your buck and quality at these two stores. So for me, given the situation and what type of support I have access to determines what store I get to go grocery shopping at. And so if I am able to get a friend to come with me that day with my grocery shopping, I will more than likely decide to go to Costco, because Costco's items are way bulkier, as we all know, and you don't get like grocery bags that you can just hang off of your wheelchair and carry on your own. You gotta have somebody carry them damn groceries with you. Even if you bring your own bags, at a certain point, some things are just too big to actually like hold on to yourself. So you need somebody with you. So if I can have somebody come with me, I'm gonna go to Costco, because then with Costco, I can get some things in bulk and know I won't need to ask the favor to go to the grocery store again for like another few weeks at a time, right? So there's that. However, if it may be a time where I need to get groceries, but I can't get anyone to help take me to Costco, then I will go to Trader Joe's. And I will more than likely take an Uber and Lyft van to a Trader Joe's and go grocery shopping that way. Because with Trader Joe's, they have like really cutesy kind of groceries. They got great groceries, of course, but they kind of got like cutesy kind of groceries that could fit in like a couple of bags that I can hang on my wheelchair or put into the Uber and Lyft van and be able to at least carry it up to my apartment. So for that reason, I go to Trader Joe's, and especially when I'm in a bind and I'm like, I need to get groceries. Now, if there's ever a time where, let's say, the weather is bad, or I can't get the support, but I can't leave, or whatever the case may be, then I will use services like Instacart or some sort of food delivery service. So Instacart allows me to, or Amazon, allows me to order groceries online and get them within the same day. Instacart can sometimes get it to you as fast as within a couple of hours. And there's also the option for actual meal prep delivery services. There are so many meal prep delivery services now that if grocery shopping just like is not your thing and you may have a little bit more of a budget, or whatever your budget is for groceries, you can spend it towards a meal prep service because it's just easier. You don't have to do nothing but heat things up or whatever the case is, then go ahead and do that. And if you have an in-home aide or a caregiver that helps you with chores and all that kind of stuff, get them to help you with this, okay? Get them to cook. That's what they're there for. And for the last part, let's address chores and household cleanliness. Now, this was important to me because I don't keep a messy home. I can't function that way. I can't think straight when my place is messy, when I got shit all over the place. I just literally cannot manage. So, as a result of that, chores and home cleanliness is super duper important, because just because you live with a disability, you should not be subjected to live in filth because it may be harder for you to clean. There are ways to be able to do it if you have the time and opportunity to do so. One of the ways that I address this is by making sure every time I move something in my apartment, I put it right back. Okay, mess and pile up and all that starts happening when you don't put things back where you found them. Now, some of the tools that I use in order to clean are the pretty simple stuff. I have a Swiffer wet jet for the floor. I got my cordless vacuum. Now, the cordless vacuums can be a little heavy at the top, but they are much more easy to manage. However, there's only so much of that I can do. That's when you gotta call in the big dogs. And who are the big dogs? The big dogs are AKA housekeepers. Now, whoever that housekeeper is for you, whether that's a family, friend, in-home aide, caregiver, or you actually get a cleaner or a service, you're gonna need it. Because there's only so much you can do before it's like, somebody gotta come up in here because I'm looking like a nasty, filthy animal living in here and I don't appreciate it. So that's the person for me that scrubs the shower floor real good, that gets in the nooks and crannies and the corners, who's able to scrub off the stuff off the stove that I just can't physically do. Like whatever those things are, and just kind of looks around at my place in areas that I didn't even realize needed to be cleaned, but they saw it and cleaned it for me. You know what I mean? They do that. And that's why it's important that you have somebody be able to come and deep clean for you. And those are all of my tips, tools, and tricks around what it means to live alone with a disability. And I hope this really brought out some insights for you, because I feel like a lot of times people assume that just because you live alone or you live independently, disability or not, that you can handle everything on your own, when that's not true. We all need help, but we also don't want to feel forced to stay under our parents' roof just because we may be a little nervous of what it looks like getting out of the house. If you are in that space where you want to get out of the house, or you are out of the house but you're kind of struggling with it, I really hope this insight helps with you coming up with your own systems and your own ways of doing things while still being okay with asking for help, because you need help, boo, because we all need help. You understand? Okay, now, if this was very helpful for you, go ahead and leave a comment. If you have any other questions around the topic of what it means to live alone, go ahead and leave a comment. And if you have any other tips, tricks, hacks on how you're able to find a certain level of independence, go ahead and leave a comment about that as well. Okay, y'all? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, bye.